Good afternoon to you. It's your girl Marquita Vian, and I'm back with another drop of the pink link. And this week episode, we have CEO Bro Henry with Kikifers Academy. And Hunty, when I say you want to tap in and see how this brother has scaled his school within 3 years and now making seven figures, and he's teaching others to do the same and just dropping so many gems, knowledge, and enlightenment. Hey, tune in, tap in, and get in where you fit in here. Oh, guess what? You know it must be another drop for the Pink Link podcast because this is why. And I'm here with a guest today, CEO Bro Henry from Kiefer. We just went over this. One more time. We just went over the name. It's just like it just went out the door, y'all. Kikifers Academy. Like Kiki, he was just telling me, it resorts to, just being black down and like Kiki. Do you love me? Are you riding? So I just thought I threw it up in there because I'm like, oh, wow, that's neat. So I'm going to introduce him with the bio that he sent me so that you all can get a full understanding of what this brother is doing and, what he got going on. So CEO Bro Henry is a co-founder of a seven-figure private school, Kikifers Academy for entrepreneurs, grade K through 12. Where every student who enrolls is required to start a small business, which generates revenue and publish a minimum of one book per year. And that site, to find out about that is www.kikifersacademy.org. KEA's ultimate goal is to produce six-figure earning students while in school. KEA currently has students all over the country. Brother Harry is also an author, professional speaker, and business coach. He teaches entrepreneurs, educators how to build a highly profited private school without having a budget. So let's get into it, bro. CEO Bro Henry. What? And so you can just say hey to the audience right fast before we get into it.
What's going on, my beautiful people? How are y'all?
Okay.
Blessed to be here.
Yes, thank you for coming on and sharing your insights, your journey with us and all the things that you have going on. So I'm just like, inquiring minds want to know, like, brother, how did you get this idea to start a private academy for small entrepreneurs?
The short story is it fell in our lap, but the long elated story is that so me and my wife own a beauty supply store, and we had a second floor, right? On our second floor, we used to rent it out for like event space. And one day we was like, we just sat and we was like, yo, we're not making no money on this event space outside of Fridays, Saturdays, sometimes Sundays. So we were looking for something that could make money Monday through Thursday, but Monday through Friday in the daytime. So of course, my first thought was, yo, we should start a school. But then I went and looked up the information to start a school. And they said on average, it costs $300,000 to $500,000 to $1 million to start a school. So I was like, no, we shouldn't start a school, right? I'm like, find something else. So we kind of went on this journey, and my wife happened to run into this lady who had a school, and she had one student. My wife was like, how you got a school, but you only got one student? And so we started talking to her, and she was telling us kind of what she was doing, but she was closing her school down. And she was like, yeah, this once this student graduates, I'm closing my school down because I've graduated all these students. I've had the school for 20 years. I'm like, okay, dope. So she kind of told us how she was running her school and her concept. And we started thinking like, yo, we use the same concept. We can run a school, but we gotta add some like flair to it. You know what I mean? Because part of the reason we even thought about it in the city that we live in, which is Rockford, it's about an hour 10 outside of Chicago. It has the third worst educational system in America, right? Only Stockton, California, and someplace down south have a worse educational system than this city. The average reading level in this city is 8th grade, right? That's the adults in the city. The average reading level of the city is 8th grade. The city has a 60% dropout rate. Just all four of the high schools are labeled national dropout factories. So education is terrible in this city, right? So I was looking at like, yo, well, what are we into? And I was like, well, we in the entrepreneurship. I had just started like coaching and whatnot. I wasn't that good of a coach at that time, but I was trying, right? And I just started coaching. I'm like, let's do a school, right? So we took that model. We was like, but let's make sure that all the students coming to our school got to start a small business. And then we were like, well, there's other schools that do entrepreneurship. We got to add some more flair to it. So we're like, all right, well, they also got to publish a minimum of 1 book a year. We'll give them Black History year round. We'll do STEM. We'll have music, art. We'll have, computer science. And it kind of grew from there. But literally, I don't have no formal background. I don't even have a college degree. I have a high school diploma, barely.
Wow.
So it just grew from there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so that's awesome, first off. And I just caught when you was like, because I just know how law of attraction works and the universe works. So you actually told your wife y'all needed to start a school, and then the universe met you all with you manifesting that to meet this lady who was actually doing what you had spoke of, and then the cards just aligned and fell into place like that.
It was God, it was the universe, it was a higher power.
Right. When I say the universe, I need to be more specific. I mean God, but God created the universe, because people take that as, the universe, but no, I'm speaking of God.
I say the universe, absolutely. It was the law of attraction all day. Before and at that time I had no clue what the law of attraction was. It just was, I'm the type of person that I just move. When I have the idea, I move, like it's got to get done. I got to execute. So I knew how to execute, but I just didn't have the knowledge to really know how to, I didn't have the knowledge to know what we were building, but I had built big things in the past, but I had no clue what I was doing. I'm just be honest with you. I had no clue.
Wow. That's amazing. And to see, your story and your testimonies of how far you all have came. So how long had the school been open?
This is our third year.
Wow, congrats.
So in June of 2019, we had the idea to do the school. In July of 2019, we started marketing it. In August of 2019, we opened our doors. We started with 7 students, and that was the start of our school, was July 2019.
Wow.
Right, August 2019. It took us 3 months to get the school doors open.
Wow. So did you all purchase the building that the young lady was closing, or you used that floor that you all had?
No, we used our beauty supply store. So we just leveraged that we already had that space. So we moved the school into there. I found out later illegally, but in entrepreneurship, you got to do what you got to do. You got to make it happen.
Started it off and kicked it off. Hey, 2 businesses in one. Hey, but now, you learned the lesson and you got it where it's legal now, y'all.
Absolutely. It was only illegal in the sense that, I told my wife, I said, our goal is to make our school so different, so unique that it literally we outgrow the space in half a semester. And that's exactly what we did. We ended up having so many students that my store space could no longer service the school. Wow. And so this was my first experience with manifesting something, right? There's this Black-owned community center out here. And I told my wife, like, yo, we got the only Black-owned school. We should have our school coming out of that Black-owned community center. There would be some power base there. And, but that was it. Like, we didn't talk to nobody, nothing. So maybe 2 weeks before that first semester ended, I got invited to speak at this event at that community center. And when I was there, I was talking about the school, and the director over that center came up to me and was like, hey, what do you think about moving your school here? I think would it be a nice power base? And so literally we moved our school there. And what's crazy about it is 2 weeks after that semester ended, the city of Rockford and, whoever they got, zoning commission, all those people, they came to my store like 5 deep with all this paperwork. Like, yo, we heard there's a school here. We got to do an inspection to check if there's all these violations, like you can't have the school if all these things happen. So I was like, good news and bad news, fam. The good news is we had a school here. The bad news is the school moved. So we're not here no more. So there is no school. So you got to take all that paperwork and roll out. And that's exactly what they did. And the school was able to thrive and grow. And on record, according to the school district out here, we're the fastest growing private school in the history of our city.
Wow. Like, this is just amazing. Like, look at just how everything just falls into place when you believe, when you move, and you just said something powerful. When you get the instant, you move on it. Some people get it and just sit there and then they miss the mark.
Absolutely.
You move, that's powerful.
Gotta execute. If you execute, you don't know what the universe got for you if you execute. That's how law of attraction. You gotta go for it.
Exactly. You can't sit on it and think on it and contemplate. When you get that intuition, that whisper, that's the spirit, you know, and many times that's meant for you to move, not just should I, let me call this person. So many people do that and don't get anything done. I'm like you, when I get that, I'm like, okay, it's time to take action. It's time to do something. Let me listen to this.
Absolutely.
And so you did say you opened in 2019. So I know COVID hit around beginning of 2020. So did that have any impact on anything with school, or how you had to, you know, just reconsider some things and maybe do online or something, or how did that go?
Absolutely. COVID was the biggest blessing that happened. So COVID leveled us up in so many beautiful ways, right? So, so first of all, right, my school did not miss a beat during COVID because all of our students have like customized, unique curriculum. So even though the governor ended up shutting all the schools down in our state and we had to shut down also, none of my students fell behind because of how we set the curriculum up academically, right? So all my students kept rolling right along like they was at school every single day. It was a beautiful thing. But the blessing came in, we weren't prepared for virtual school, right? So I got with a team that's out here. We put together like a whole virtual component for our school to be able to go virtual. We set up the Zoom. And so here's where the blessing came in at. I realized something during COVID that worked in my favor. I realized because everything was shut down that everybody was home. So if you wanted to build a network, the greatest time to build a network was during COVID. So during COVID, we hopped on the phone and just started calling people. And guess what people did? Celebrities, stars, whoever, influencers, they answered the phone. So I'm like, yo, not only did they answer the phone, I'm like, yo, how would you like a speaking engagement at my school virtually? Because everybody wants to do something. It's COVID. And we just got a chance to link with so many people. In particular, I got to link with A. Donahue Baker, who changed the game for our school. A. Donahue Baker, shout out to A. Donahue Baker, Money Ave Bank. You know, that's the big homie right there.
Right, shout out.
A. Donahue Baker changed the game. He just, and it's not like it wasn't one specific thing. His cosign of our school meant everything, right? After we had his cosign, our confidence was through the roof to go after all these other people. So long story short, all the way up to like last year, right? I was talking to A. Donahue Baker and I was like, yo, I wrote on my manifestation board, I want to meet David Shands, right? Because I had seen a few episodes of Social Proof and I was like, yo, it's kind of dope. I want to meet this guy. He's doing great things. So A. Donahue Baker tells me, oh yeah, that's my man. I plugged you. He said, hey, go buy a ticket, come to Atlanta next week. We're all white. I got you. I had no clue he was inviting me to like the Social Proof alumni dinner. So I pull up. Everybody that I look up to is in this spot. Like Him 500 is there, and Marquell Russell is here, and Zoe and Skittles and Dr. Jacob Taylor and Ash Cash, and just everybody I look up to is in the same spot. And I'm telling them,
jelly, because I saw the pictures, and that was a magnificent event.
Oh yeah. First of all, like, okay, I don't want to like throw too much of my background out there, but like my background, like I'm kind of hood a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So like I never been to no event like this that Black folks ran, and it's like people, and it's like everybody's talking about money, and like I can't, if you weren't there, I got some pictures, so it's kind of hard to tell, but like it was one of those things for me when I got to the actual venue, because I didn't realize it was a rooftop thing, right? So like I'm in Atlanta, I'm like at the address, I'm like, yo, where's this spot at? I'm looking around, I see Him 500. And he like, yo, what up, bro? I'm like, yo, that's him. Like, yo, I'm geeked. I'm like starstruck. Like, yo, that's him. And he's like, yo, he dabbed me up. He's like, you here for the event? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, you got to take the elevator around the side, go up to the top floor. So I get up there. It's VIP. Like, as soon as you get off the elevator,
you know, Him 500 hood too.
yeah, I know. That's why I'm like, okay, I got my peoples here. You know what I'm saying? It's VIP only. Like, when you get off the elevator, you got to check in. If your name not on the list, you can't get in. I'm like, yo, this is dope. I go look out over the side. I see like the real gold silverware, the real gold plates. Everything is beautiful. It's like a spiral staircase to get down. We across the street from the Mercedes Center. And it was just lit. Like everybody's talking money. I met so many people, made so many connections. And that really took us to a whole new level, just being present. And that was just last year. You know what I'm saying? Like from that. So like every single year, we just ran into these blessings that have like just took us to whole new levels, got connections, put on with people that just took us to whole new levels. Marquell Russell, when I met Marquel,
Yeah.
he is a huge supporter of our school. He flew out to our school to speak. He's met with my students. He knows them on a first name basis. We just came back from Atlanta. We went to the client attraction boot camp. He gave our school big shout outs, like lots of love, like just making those connections with people has really elevated the score more so than like, it's not like a blueprint. Like I can teach, like just go network, meet people and open your mouth, tell them who you are, what you do, give them your offer. And literally that's how we've been able to grow the school on that level, like in the public eye. So.
Wow, that's amazing. So y'all had an awesome 2020. and
Yes.
now, you know, because a lot of people actually had an awesome 2020 around what had happened, you know, like you said, it was a blessing for you in a sense, you know, as I understand what happened to a lot of lives and, you know, during that time, but at the same time, it was such a blessing for so many people as well, you know. So we have to still count our blessings because, you know, those of us who, you know, just been able to get through it and still be here, you can't not still be thankful that you were blessed, you know, during the time that those things was happening as well.
Yeah, I didn't end up getting COVID until December of 21. Like, I guess it's crazy because my beauty supply store, all the beauty supply stores in the city got shut down, but we found a way, just using our savvy, to be the only store that stayed open. So, like,
y'all are just y'all phenomenal.
Yeah, we would get to our store at like 9 in the morning. We open at 10. There would literally be a physical line wrapped around the block to come in because we were the only beauty supply store in the city. So on average, at the height of COVID, like before everybody had masks and gloves and all the different stuff, at the height of COVID, well, no, we had masks at that time. We were probably selling like 1,000 masks a day, and we were probably servicing like 100 clients a day or customers a day, every day, and never got COVID. So I was just counting my blessings. Like I was going home with the orange peelings, like doing the oranges over the stove. We was doing all kind of stuff because I was like, yo, with coming in contact with this many people, it's only a matter of time till somebody passes it. And luckily for us, none of us I didn't end up getting COVID till December of last year, and didn't even realize I had COVID. I knew I was sick, but I was popping Tylenol. I kept working. And I didn't even know I had COVID. I was like working. I finally went to the hospital and it was like, yo, fam, you got chill. You got COVID. They're like, but your COVID's over. You just got to quarantine. Like you had it. It's in your bloodstream. And I was like, yo, I just worked through that joint. Like you got one life to live. I got to execute. If I die tomorrow, I got to get it in today. So that was the attitude, you know, I took.
Amen. I love that. Yes. And so for as COVID with me, I can't tell you if I thank God I've been just blessed during this time. I hadn't took no tests. I hadn't took no whatever. I've been taking prayer and eat my vegetables and my fruits and my water.
Yeah, man.
That's what I've been on. I don't even watch the news because they was just, you know, I'm mindful of what I'm focusing on. And when you focus on something, it grows. So I just be like, let me let that
Absolutely.
go.
I love it.
And so I want to go back to when you were saying something about in your curriculums is catered to each student. Could you kind of elaborate on that for me right quick?
Yes, ma'am. So all of our students have customized education that specifically speaks to them where they're at. One thing we had to make sure of, especially in our city, 99% of the students who come to us from public school are behind academically. So age-wise, they might be like fifth grade, but when you test them and give them an assessment, they might test in at like fourth grade math, maybe fifth grade social studies. You know, it might be third grade reading level. So as a school, most schools pass students through, especially when it comes to Black students in particular. They just pass students through. So we needed a system. What was important to us was a system where if a student came in, they could work at their own pace. In addition to being able to work at their own pace, we had to have a system that could catch the students up to where they were supposed to be, right? Because that's important to bring them back. So if a student acted or grade-wise or age-wise should be in 7th grade, but academically they're performing at 4th grade, well, now we got to be able to give them 5th grade, 6th grade, and into 7th grade to catch them up, right? So that's important, being able to close that gap. But also for the students who are more studious, who academics come to easier, well, let me give you this real life example. I have a 6-year-old in California because we have virtual students across the country, right? She just turned 7. This year alone, she completed the first grade, the second grade. She's halfway in the third grade. And by the end of the year, she'll probably be at fourth grade level by the end of this school year. So in 1 year, she was able to do first grade, second grade, and probably third grade, and then start the fourth grade. So part of the fallacy of public schools is that we hold children in this box. Like, because you're 6, you're going to learn letters, you're going to learn sounds, you're going to learn shapes, you're going to learn colors. But what if my 6-year-old already knows all of that? Why are you keeping them in this box instead of letting them go to the next level, Like, so we have a student, just happens to be my daughter. Shout out to her. She'll be graduating high school at 14 because she's allowed to work at her own pace. She's always been brilliant academically. We homeschooled her, all that type of stuff. But now, because of this system, she'll be able to graduate high school at the age of 14.
Wow.
So, and that any student can do it, though. It's not specific to her. It's about the work ethic. Like, if your work ethic is top notch and you come in and you take care of business, you can graduate early. I got another high school senior out of Austin, Texas, who he's going to graduate early, but stay in school just to get our guest speakers that come every week. So,
wow.
Yes.
Well,
so that's
congrats to your daughter and their brother and the other young lady. Like, that's awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
I love how you all have it, you know, to where they're not in a box, you know, like you said, because many kids, like I was telling someone, with the regular curriculum in high schools and things like that, many kids do not make it to that 12th grade year because they're tired, they're bored, you know, and it's just, like they said, if 300 start by 12th grade year, it's maybe 100 and something for the graduation class, you know, because many have fell off and dropped out and just no longer interested. So, you know, maybe they need to take some notes.
Because they're not, a lot of schools, when we say Entrepreneur Academy, we are making sure that these children learn about stuff that they can use in real time, but they can also use as they graduate. So real estate, cryptocurrency, digital marketing, affiliate marketing, speaking engagements, authorship, like things that students can use and start. So we had a student like 13 years old making $1,000 a week selling books. Like, you gotta give students things that they can lock into now that's real and tangible, because then they'll fall in love with coming to school. It's not just you come, you recite what the teacher heard, you know what I'm saying? Like the old, you know, and on the academic side, you got to be able to feed them, especially our school's open to everybody, right? But we specialize and target our own community because that's what's most needed. And so we do like Black history every week, right? And our children become different children when they learn, like, we're not teaching them Christopher Columbus discovered America. Like, we ain't on that type of time. You know what I'm saying? No, Columbus was a rapist. Columbus was a pillager. This is what he did to our people when they came to Haiti, when they came to Dominican Republic, when they came to Jamaica. These are the things that they did to our people. So we're not celebrating them as heroes here, right? And when our children start to hear that type of stuff, Black people existed before slavery? What you mean, What? You know what I'm saying? Like, children light up. And we do that because if I'm teaching you how to make money, and ultimately our goal is to produce 6-figure earning students, well, if I teach you how to make 6 figures in school, it does us no good as a community for you to go back and support Louis Vuitton and Gucci and buy rims, but you don't buy back the block, or you don't create businesses for other people, or you don't go buy your mama a house, or you don't retire your family. Like, we got to have that type of thinking, and we got to instill that in our children, because all the different traumas that's in our community, you know, we can solve a lot of those traumas through entrepreneurship if we become the resource in our own community. So that's like part of our philosophy.
Wow. I love Kikifers Academy. Am I saying it right?
Kikifers
Academy. I just want to take one of the K's out. Seem like it. No, I don't want to do that.
Everybody do it.
Oh, okay. I don't feel alone. Okay, so I mean, just hearing all these things that this school has to offer. So you said it is where, you know, you can do virtual school or you can come in person, right?
Yeah, and we're building out more in-person schools right now. So we're due to open in Houston and Atlanta in fall of 23. So in Houston, we plan on making Houston our flagship school, and Houston is about to be lit. I'm telling you, Atlanta too, because Atlanta got a lot of, you know, it's a lot of entrepreneurial hitters in Atlanta. Like, you know, we got new folks locked in, but we got Marquell out in Atlanta to give us that alley-oop. And in Houston, we're working with a few different groups out there. Shout out to like Support Black Entrepreneurs and a few other groups out there. ATS Business University that's helping us to do Houston. Houston is going to be lit. So anybody, right? Because we have students in Houston, right? So those students are really excited. Like, oh, we're going to get a real physical school. So every place we have virtual students at, our goal down the road is to either one of our franchises can be bought and open there, or we'll be able to open a physical school there ourselves through me and my wife. So we plan on hitting some of the major cities ourselves, Houston, Atlanta, one on the West Coast, probably LA, and maybe like New York and possibly Chicago. But Chicago is a different kind of city. So Chicago takes some research and some study, because Chicago has different issues that's not quite academic all the way around, like the gang culture, the violence. Like all my people from Chicago, so we got some Chicago's gonna be different, but we plan on hitting those cities, and then we'll have franchises so people can buy franchises, can buy into the school wherever they're at. Well, so
yes, I love that franchise idea, because Jackson, Mississippi, that's where I'm from. I'm in Mapleton, right outside of Atlanta. And so where are you based at now? Because I was thinking it was Chicago for some reason.
No, we're like an hour 10 outside of Chicago. So we're in the second city in Illinois, outside of Chicago. So we're square in the middle between Chicago and Milwaukee. Right.
Oh, okay.
So we get the worst of education, right? We get Chicago's violence, and then we get Milwaukee's sex trafficking, all in one city. That's a small city, and it's just a terrible combination for education. Terrible.
Wow. Okay, so I'm trying to see it's so much I can ask you about this academy, and so I want to say, is there anything you want to share and let the people know, that you haven't shared that I haven't asked? Because it's so much that I feel like I can ask all day about this academy. It's phenomenal.
I would encourage entrepreneurs to start their own school, right? Because even though I have our school, we're building more schools, we have things to offer. I can't reach all the children in my city, and it's personal for me. Part of the reason why it's so personal, I'll tell you this story. I have a friend, it's actually like a brother to me, and his son was murdered in like a quadruple homicide, right? This dude ends up killing his son, his son's girl, and like the two babies, right? This crazy thing happened. So I'm talking to him, and this is like right around the time when I met him, because I actually went to his son's funeral. It was a huge thing before I actually met him, like on a one-on-one level. So when I talked to him, he was telling me, he said, man, you know what? As a father, I did everything right by my son. I raised him properly. I gave him everything I needed. He was a good man. He was a Golden Gloves boxer. He was taking care of a woman and children that wasn't his. He was providing for the household. Like, this was a stand-up brother. This is like a quality brother. And he was like, man, and I still lost my son to violence in the streets, and he wasn't in the street. And so I gave him this analogy, because at the time, me and him and a few other brothers were building a grassroots organization. So I told him, I said, well, brother, if you have a fish tank, and it's a dirty fish tank, and you take a fish out of that fish tank and you clean the fish, but then you put the fish back into the fish tank, that fish is still set up to succumb to the environment in which it's in. So for us as parents, yes, we can do everything right by our children, but we got to remember that we live within the village. So if you don't clean the entire fish tank and you only take the one fish out, other fish can still get, or that single fish can still fall victim to that environment. So we can't just focus on cleaning our individual fish. We have to build systems that clean the entire tank. And that was kind of like, for that grassroots organization and for my school, that's kind of what drives me to encourage entrepreneurs to start their own schools. Like, listen, a lot of these problems in our community, the drugs, the dope, the gang violence, the street violence, the domestic abuse, like all these different things, all these traumas, we can solve a lot of those if we build schools where we control the narrative, where we provide the resources, where we become the solution in the community. It not only for the entrepreneur, most of us think, well, if I start a school, like I'm a digital marketer, starting a school is not in my industry. No, it's going to make you a better digital marketer. It's going to give you more clients. It's going to give you more of a base, and you'll have a bigger reach, right? So whatever your niche is, build a school around your niche. Like whatever you do, it will increase. You'll make more money. You'll have more impact. You'll have more freedom. It'll give you a bigger opportunity to have more impact with more people, because now your business is known as that which is giving a solution to an entire community. So I just implore entrepreneurs to think about starting their own school. You don't have to be an educator. You know what I'm saying? I have a high school diploma. You know what I'm saying? Like I barely, so, but we're here. You know what I'm saying? And there's a process to it. You don't need a lot of money to do it. It's just, we think about big projects sometimes and we're like, yo, I don't have this, I don't have that. We think about the cup being half empty, but really the cup's half full. Look at everything you do have and you can make it happen. So that's how I got into coaching people. That's how I got into coaching entrepreneurs and educators, you know, to build their own schools. Like it's not a difficult process. You just gotta look at your business and build around your business, and you can build, you know, a school yourself. So I really implore entrepreneurs to look at that. Educators too. Like if you're a good teacher and you're like, here's the thing, as entrepreneurs, we understand business, right? Like we know, oh, I need this CRM over here, or I gotta have this email marketing, I gotta set my funnel up like this, or I gotta reach out to these people, I gotta create these groups. We understand that as entrepreneurs, especially in the modern day, right? Oh, I gotta get this podcast over here, or I gotta do this speaking engagement, this mastermind. As educators, they understand these are the best techniques to make sure students get the best education and do X, Y, and Z, right? But educators don't know how to run a business, and it doesn't matter if you know how to run a business and you're not an educator. Marry the two. You marry the two, you got a full-fledged business. Like I'm by far not the best teacher in my school, but I teach entrepreneurship and I teach Black history in my school. But I'm a teacher, right? I get paid for speaking engagements. I have a book. I have my own book. You know what I mean? Like, so everybody's naturally an educator, and you can learn those skill sets. So I just really implore entrepreneurs to like just take a look at the idea and think about it. Like, yo, this is something I can do, and I got the blueprint. If you need the blueprint,
Hey.
everything that's in my coaching program, I give away for free. The only thing I charge people for is if you want my mentorship through the process. Other than that, I give away everything in my coaching program for free. Wow. So build a school.
Yes. And you know what? That's funny because that's what I want to ask you about, the 60 minutes. It was something I saw you posted 6 days or something, something with 60 minutes or something, 60 seconds. And it was speaking about, you know, how to build your own and start your own school. So it's, you know, that was the question that was like out there.
Oh, yes, man. So, I mean, I do like masterminds. I do live Q&As. Like I'll pull up on you. I try to be everywhere. I'm on, you know, 20 podcasts a week. Like I'll be wherever you need me to be to give information away on like, you know, I'm here. Like for me, it's more important for me that we have these resources in our community than just me making money. Like I'm going to make money regardless. Right. But if I can implore us to like position ourselves to do it, and I'm trying to lead by example, and like it's not as difficult as people think. We have a school we work with, Prep Academy, and they're killing. Like, and they're offering something completely different than any other school in Chicago, right? They have National Basketball Association. Like their players can come in, they recruit, and they can go play basketball all across the country, not just in the state. And it's a completely different program. But his school is bringing in people off the street to kind of clean up the community, and it's offering something around his niche. So salute to Prep Academy. But like we need that, you know what I'm saying? So I do that all the time. So that's the matter of fact, I don't know when they'll see this podcast, but my next live Q&A will be this Wednesday at 7:00, April 22nd.
Okay, so that's when they'll see this podcast. Okay, so that's great, and I'll be sure to drop that in the description box as well. So okay, you all are doing some great things. I love how you said that everyone needs, well, not everyone, but if you're teaching something and you're an educator, or you know, have a niche in something, and that, you know, you can pour into someone else, you need to link with this brother here, CEO Bro Henry, so that you can, you know, really just like see how you can take it to the next level. And, you know, start a private school, especially if your neighborhood or community is, you know, bounded to violence and so many other things that children are getting into, and it's not beneficial. Why not be that change and start something that can be beneficial, so that they can get that, you know, that new vision for their lives, and not only what they see or been, you know, subject to. So I love what you're doing here. And so I want to ask you something for, as you know, your mental space and your well-being while you're doing all these things, you know, business wise. So what do you do to, you know, keep your head in a good space, and, you know, just keep your, you know, yourself together for as your well-being, as well as you continue to pour into so many others? Absolutely.
So a couple things, right? 2 things in particular. I know the answer to both of these off top. Number 1, my wife is my COO. And so there's like this myth in the Black community. And it's like, yo, if you're a couple and y'all work together, you're gonna get tired of each other, because like you're around each other all day. Like you need me space, you need time to be alone, to breathe your own thoughts, right? But it's a myth, right? Napoleon Hill said in Think and Grow Rich that the strongest mastermind alliance is between husband and wife. And if the two of you align in your mastermind, you can get more done together in 1 year than you will be able to get done apart in 7 years. So of course, we started our school, we built it in 3 months, we started in 7 students. It took us 3 years to hit 7 figures, right? And that is understanding that for me, part of my mental space is if I have a victory, if I have a loss, my wife already knows. She's boots on the ground here with me. Like, there's nothing that happens in the school that she doesn't know about. And so all of my struggles, all of the highs, all of the lows, she's there to celebrate with me, right? And so she's actually the brains of the operation. I'm just the talking head, right?
Right. It's behind every black man, there's a strong woman.
Let's keep it 100. She's the one running stuff here. Y'all just see me out front, right?
Shout out to the wife. Congrats.
Definitely.
Congrats to you.
Absolutely. So that's one thing, right? And both of my daughters go to the school. So having that sense of family orientation, like we have an open door policy, parents can pop in anytime, it takes a village, right? And all the love and support we get, like that for me mentally is like I'm understanding that I'm pouring into people, and like life is short. You got to give what you got while you got it, right? Then on the flip side of that, we vacation hard, right? We vacation hard. So we work for our vacations, we earn our vacations. But I'm not gonna spend money on a lot of frivolous things, but I will spend money on a good vacation. So we travel a lot, we passport stamped up. And for me, like getting out, the thing about vacations, my wife likes doing like 10-day vacations. I can't do that long. Like if I do 10 days, by like the 3rd day, I'm in my phone, I'm checking out like, yo, I could do this speaking engagement. Yo, I'm gonna try to podcast from Jamaica. So you know what I'm saying? Like, so
it becomes work.
Yeah, because this isn't work for me. Like I'm at work right now on the podcast. Like This ain't work. This is fun for me. So if I'm having fun all day, it's like, yo, I put it like this. I'm having so much fun doing what I'm doing that I don't realize how many losses we've taken. Like we take a lot of losses. We have a lot of failures, but the failures are just as fun as the victories. So when you're having fun doing what you're doing, it's like, yeah, we took an L. We didn't get that didn't work out right, but let's try something else, right? And the failures become fun, so you don't even realize that this stays down because you're having fun the whole time. So
yes, I love that you said that, and we're gonna get into them 7 figures too. How the fairies become fun because you get to learn a new lesson. You get to, get that growth. You get to, learn how to do something different, and it takes you for the long haul. Like it builds more character. It builds more perseverance. So because I get that when I take a loss, I'm getting the lessons out of this thing. How can I depict this so I can be better? And some people take it as and sob over it. No, that's the time to get everything you need to be better.
Absolutely. So I tell my clients that on the journey of entrepreneurship, if you're in a car, the loss or the failure is just a speed bump. It doesn't mean you stop. You might have to slow down, right? Because you don't want to go, you don't want to hit the speed bump smack on. You might got to slow down, but it's not a stop sign. It's not a red light. So learn the lesson, hit the speed bump, and keep going. Like that's how the journey is. It's just a speed bump. It's not a red light. You gotta keep going with that thing.
Yes, that's a good analogy. Okay, so 7 figures here. Okay, congrats. Like, is that your first 7 figures in business, or
It is.
Well, congrats on that. And that came in 3 years?
3 years, yep. But think about it, right? If you're doing 7 years worth of work in 3 years, you're really looking at 21 years worth of work condensed into 3 years. And so it shows you how to get there. And it's not, here's the thing. Now that I know it, it ain't hard. I can teach it to anybody. It ain't hard.
So you can teach me how to become a 7-figure private school owner.
Absolutely. Look, here's the thing. Here's the beautiful thing. What we know now, we can speed up time for our clients. So the 3 years it took us to get there was because we didn't know all these different pieces and things. Like I'm still learning to this day, of course, because I'm not who builds schools. Right? But speed up time. And now when you speed up time, you're like, oh, it's that simple? Like people probably are going to be upset with me when they're like, it's that simple. Why did I hire you? I could have just did this myself. You feel me? Like it's that simple.
Wow. Well, that's good to hear. Cause hey y'all gotta tap in with this brother here and become a 7-figure private school owner. You know, why not? It's a win-win. I love win-win situations. You're growing and then you're gonna help others grow.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so Mr. CEO Bro Henry, what would you say to someone, sitting out there and they contemplate, the next step that they need to take in their lives. And so, doubting, should they not? What would you say to that person today?
All right, I'm a bite and quote my brother, my coach, my mentor, Marquell Russell. And Marquell had the coldest thing he says to this, right? He asked this question: are you at 7 figures? If you say no, right, then what you don't know to get to 7 figures, like let's say I'm at 100,000, then you're $900,000 short in what you know of getting that $1 million. So what you don't know is costing you $900,000 every year. That, like, you got to look at it like from that perspective. What you don't know is costing you $900,000 every single year. So yeah, I made 100,000, yeah, but everybody's goal is like start at $1 million. So what you don't know is costing you every single year. And here, the problem is most of us are not executors when it comes to like we have to. If anybody does coaching, you understand this, right? You got a client, they go through your funnel, they schedule an appointment, you get them on the phone. Oh, I want to do X, Y, and Z. I want to lose weight. I want to start a school. I want to, attract more clients, whatever. You get up to the point. All right. If you get a coach, most coaches are going to cost you $3,000, $5,000, $6,000, depending on the type of coach you get, right? I think Myron Golden's buy-in is like $50,000, right? You can't get Myron Golden for cheap, right? But if you pay Myron Golden $50,000 and he teaches you how to make $5 million, then it doesn't, like, you got to be willing to invest in yourself. You got to understand. And people are like, well, how am I get to 50,000? Figure it out. People get money for things they want. If that Louis Vuitton come out, Jordans come out, if, whatever you want, that condo that you want, people figure out a way to get what they want. So figure out a way to get what it is that you need that's going to take you to the next level. I spend more money on coaching than anything else. Like, if I can be in the room, I'm there, right? Like David and Donnie, we're gonna do Brain Picker podcast. Boom, instantly, I'm there. Like, here we go. Because to me, the benefit is bigger than the invest. So for me being on Brain Picker podcast, right, there was like $3,000 per at that time. It's probably more now because they've done more episodes, right? When I got on, it was $3,000 to get into the episode. So we did Brain Picker podcast. From Brain Picker podcast, we got like a $600,000 contract out of Houston, right? You got to go for the gusto. Like, you have to make it happen. So I tell people, like, jump. If you don't jump off the roof, you're never going to know if you can fly. Only 2 things can happen if you jump. You're going to fall and die. And if you're dead, it doesn't matter because you're dead. Or you're going to fly. And that's what birds do. When birds get to a certain point, the mother pushes them out the nest, fly or die. And entrepreneurs need to understand, if you want to get your wings, you got to jump. You can't stand on the rooftop talking about, well, when my wings grow out and, I want to get detailed wings and I want to get colored wings. No, just jump. Like, do it ugly.
One more thing. I just got to wait till this get in place. All the excuses.
When this happened and that happened. No, listen, the people who take action get rewarded. And I've learned that lesson. So I'm like, I will get a coach in a second. I have a coach that's a billionaire. This is super dope to me. I have a coach that's a billionaire, right? Not only is he my coach, though, I know him I can call him on the phone right now. He's in Houston, by the way, helping us with the school. I can get on the phone. I can talk to him face to face. When I'm in Houston, I see him, right? I go see him when I'm in Houston. And so what would you pay to be in the room with a person that can do? Matter of fact, if you go to my school's app, you can watch for free. We're gonna yank it down though soon because people have to pay to get this information. It's free right now. You can watch him for 2 hours straight. He spoke to my school a couple years ago, and his entire conversation was how to become a millionaire in 3 months. That's the only, like, every answer. This is how to become a millionaire in 3 months. This is how to become a millionaire in 3 months. This is how to become real estate, video game. Like, he has like 200 streams of income, 240 streams of income, something like that. So he's just going off. This is how you do this. This is how you do this. This is how you do this. And like, when you start thinking about it, it's people that take action and people that don't take action. If you're that person that's on the couch, you doubt yourself, you don't believe what the universe is telling you, you're literally doing the law of attraction in reverse. You're repelling all your blessings. All these blessings are coming to you, and you like, I don't want that blessing. I don't want that blessing. I don't want this blessing. That's not for me, right? When really you just got to take the opportunity and jump. And I have so many stories about that. Sometimes you got to go through struggle. Sometimes you got to go through strife, but those are just speed bumps. Like you got to go through it to earn your stripes, but those are speed bumps on the path to your destination. So execute. Don't take forever to make the decision. Or if it's not for you, just say it ain't for me. Like some people like, no, I want to build a school. Cool. At least we know. You're not wasting my time, not wasting your time. Go do you, fam. You know what I'm saying? But if you're that, if it's on you, like I had a client come to me, I want to do a school for the last 6 years. For 6 years, you had this idea from the universe and you ain't execute.
Get the moving.
You could be me right now. The universe gave you this idea 6 years ago. Like the moment I got the idea and I figured out how to do it, we moved in June, we market July, we open in August. Execute. There's no time to think about nothing else. I had no clue. Our first day of school, I was like, all right, like the very first day, cool. We had 7 students. First thing we're gonna do is vision boards, y'all. You gotta be able to see the future. While the students are cutting out magazines, doing the vision board, I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, all right, we're gonna do spelling next. We're trying to figure it out, right? But that's what entrepreneurs do. You figure out, you're a problem solver, figure it out. As the day becomes more structured, now parents are looking at it like, yo, this is the coolest thing I ever seen. Now it's attractive to all these people because nobody's seen anything like it. And we're figuring it out as we go. But I'm not sitting around waiting. Well, I'm gonna open the school once I know what the students gonna have for lunch. And once I have a crossing guard. And like, no, just go do it.
Do it like Nike.
Just do it. So yeah, that's that for those who want to get up and let's go.
Wow, that's awesome. Like, and then like you said, the guy was waiting 6 years. And that's how I felt with my coaching and all that for years. And it's like you resisting. And, if you're paddling in the opposite direction, like, like you're not going to get anywhere, so you got to quit resisting life and just, align with life so that you can live out your life's purpose. Because for years I was like resisting walking into this purpose that I'm doing now. And people like, you just seem happy because I'm actually doing what I knew I should have been doing. When I wasn't doing it and just trying to like block it out or just trying not to, just pushing it down, like that does you no justice at all. Like get the doing.
And I must say,
happier.
From this podcast, you look happy, you shining, you looking beautiful, the background is good. You know what I'm saying? Like this is one of some podcasts I do is kind of like stiff, but this podcast feel like you're vibrating through the screen. You know what I'm saying? Like this is so natural. Like you supposed to be here. So keep up the great work.
Thank you. Because I'm walking into it like I've stopped resisting. Like I love what I'm doing,
Absolutely.
And that's an amazing feeling. Like, it's worth more than money,
Absolutely.
Money is good though. Don't get it wrong. Money is good. I do believe, you prosper in your purpose. So,
yes.
And so you're doing a great job at prospering in your purpose over there, bro. CEO Bro Henry. So how can the people reach you, and just keep in contact with you so that they can, if this is something that has been on their mind to, or, they just got that idea to like, this is something I can teach and do, how can they contact you?
All right, I'll give you the 3 best ways. You can follow me on IG as CEO Bro Henry, even though I just got a new IG page because my last one got hacked and deleted all stuff, but it's all good. I'm back. So follow me on IG at CEO Bro Henry. I can go to my website. If you're really interested in starting a school, you can go to www.workwithceobrohenry.com. And I got a case study on there with my 3 secrets that I use to build my school. You can get it for absolutely free. It doesn't cost you anything. And if you're interested, then we can hop on the phone, see if we're a good fit to work with each other, if that's something you're interested in doing. And if not, you still got a roadmap to build a school for free. So we can do that. Also, I have a group on Facebook that's a private group that you can join for teachers, entrepreneurs, educators who are interested in building their own private school. There's my mastermind is on there for free. You can have, I just did a keynote at the EDU Hustle Conference that's on there. It's like a 3-hour master course that we did with people just asking questions and I was answering everything for 3 hours. Yes, it's 3 hours. I'm not sure how I survived, but it's on there. There's different podcasts on there. There's different just resources. There's client testimonials, all kind of things. So you can tap in with me on Facebook, on Instagram, the website. Or if you have a personal question, just shoot me an email or something and I'll get back at you. So, and my personal number is out there too. It's all over the place. So folks be tapping in my number like, boy, who is this? So
know, right?
oh, okay, bet. Let's talk. So
it's way over there in Chicago, or Indiana. So. Okay, so I usually be closing it out, but then I want to ask you these two questions. So when you was a kid, what was your dream? And then where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
All right. My dream at first was to go to the NBA. I'm about to tell my age right now. When I was going into high school, there was this kid that was about to graduate high school his senior year. His name was Kevin Garnett. And so we ended up playing Kevin Garnett's team in his UIC tournament in Chicago. And that one game let me know the NBA wasn't for me. Because Kevin Garnett destroyed us.
Oh, wow. So he set you down. I said he set you down, huh?
Yeah, it was bad. It was like, oh, this is what NBA players look like? No, that's not for me. So after the NBA, I went through all the things young black boys go through. Then I was like, yo, I want to be a rapper, right? But I don't really have a work ethic. And yeah, that, I could rap, but I didn't have a work ethic. So that didn't really work out. So then I just didn't know what I wanted to be, right? In my book, I talk about the fact that I was fired from 25 jobs before I found entrepreneurship as I found it today. And all I really knew, I'm gonna tell you this funny story real quick. When I was in high school, all my cousins from Chicago moved to the town I was in, and they all worked at the 7-Eleven. So I get a call one day like, yo, pull up, the cameras don't work, come through at night, you can get whatever you want. I'm like, say less. My entrepreneur mind kicked in. I brought a duffel bag. Every night I used to come get like all type of product, right? When I was in high school, I didn't really go to class that much, but if you came to my locker in between periods, I didn't have no books in my locker. I just had like a sheet of paper with all my prices and all my products. And so like I was selling candy every day to like teachers, students, administration, police officers, whoever needed something, I got it for the low.
I'm a profit.
Right? So all profit, no investment. I knew at that time I wanted to make a lot of money. I just didn't know how I was going to do it. Right. It took me a long time to get to that point to figure it out. So I wasn't really, I was just drifting, to be honest with you. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I at a certain point, I knew I wanted to be a speaker, but I had no clue how to become a speaker. Like, how do I get booked? How do somebody pick me up? What do I do? I have no clue. So other than that, though, just trying to figure it out. Like, yo, at a certain point, I realized, yo, I don't want to be a dope dealer. All dope dealers I know got popped off. And I tried to sell a little something when I was younger, but I wasn't good at it. So that didn't work out, right? Like, yo, I want to do something, but I don't know. We have
stuff in common then. We sold candy. I caught myself trying to sell a little refund.
I tried. You know what's crazy? When I was younger, I had a roommate, my guy Zid. We was roommates. And I was sitting at the table breaking some work down. And everybody in my building sold something, right? So I look out my patio window. And I see an ice cream truck pull up. And I'm like, that's odd that there's an ice cream truck outside. Then like 20 police cars pull up behind the ice cream truck. And I'm like, yo, they about to hit a sting. I'm sitting at this table with all this marijuana in front of me. And it wasn't legal yet. And I'm like, so I start thinking, are they coming here for me, right? There's 12 doors in our building. Are they coming here for me? Who they coming for? I'm thinking, well, if I can start flushing it right now, I won't get caught. But what if I start flushing and they don't come for me? I don't got the money to pay this back, right? All these thoughts going through my head. So I'm like, let me see what happens. The police hop out. Everybody's running inside. They come upstairs to the second floor and I'm on the second floor. So now my chances went from 1 in 12 to like 1 in 4. So I'm like, all right, it's still 4 of us, but there's 2 sides. They come to my side. Now the chances are 1 in 2. I'm like, my heart's beating through my chest. And I start telling myself, like, I'm too skinny to go to prison. I can't go. I don't want all the things you think. I'm like maybe 18 years old. And I hear, boom, 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 boom. Open the door, police. And I'm thinking like, yo, this is it. Like, I just put my head down, put my hands there, sunk in my seat. Like, it's over. I'm going to jail. And then they kicked my neighbor's door in and they took him to jail. And at that moment, I knew this ain't for me. I ain't about this life, boy. You are
it's too much. Too much,
too much. So yeah, let that be a lesson for you ain't about that life. Don't be about that life. What was the other question you asked? I'm sorry. I forgot to say.
Okay, so where do you see yourself in Kikifers Academy in 5 years? And apologies for, me up there just destroying the name.
It take people a while to catch it. That's all. It take people a while to catch it. 5 years from now, I see us having, multiple schools, franchises, and I really see us helping a lot of people to impact their community. My goal is to help build 100 schools in the United States. And I got calls to do international. That's a whole nother ballgame. I got to figure that out. We've got calls for it, but I got to figure out what the processes are. It's a little bit different.
That's amazing.
But I want to be into that field by that time. And I want to help 100 people build schools, in our community. So that's where I see it. But by that time, 5 years from now, we'll have Houston, we'll have Atlanta, hopefully we'll have LA 5 years from now, and we'll have New York up and running. So Houston, Atlanta, where we're at here in Rockford, LA, New York, all those schools privately owned, plus whatever franchises buy into the franchise within the next 5 years.
Well, I believe you will have that because we already see that you have manifested and spoken so much into existence. And so congrats in advance on those, on those future endeavors. And so it's definitely been a pleasure to have you here on the Pink Link podcast and just blessing us with your presence, knowledge, and just dropping so many gems and stories on us today. And so I'm about to really close it out, you all, and I hope you all enjoyed as well. And support the brother, CEO Bro Henry, because I will drop all of his information below in the description box. And as always, I want to tell you, you are great, and the life you want, you create as well, and we heard it here, and we see it here all the time, with these guests and myself, just doing the things that, you are purposed to do in your life. And so once again, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Pink Link podcast and support your girl. And so y'all have a great day and go out there and start creating. Blessings on blessings to you.